Almost overnight, the world changed. People no longer worried about their looks or their bodies. With a simple neural connection device, anyone could control a robotic surrogate body from home, a perfect version of themselves, stronger, younger, safer. No pain, no addiction, no risk. But one day, something went terribly wrong. A young man was using his surrogate while spending time with a girl he had just met. Everything seemed normal. They laughed, they talked, and then they leaned in for a kiss. But suddenly, the boy noticed someone nearby, a man wearing a strange helmet. He stood there quietly, watching them. Something about him felt wrong. The boy tried to chase him away, and then a flash of light. The helmeted man jumped onto a motorcycle and disappeared into the street. Moments later, chaos erupted. At an intersection, a car swerved violently. The driver lost control, the vehicle flipped, and crashed into pedestrians nearby. Police arrived quickly. Strangely, no real people were hurt. Only several surrogate bodies were destroyed. But what they found next was far more disturbing. In a dark alley nearby, several surrogate bodies were lying on the ground, completely lifeless, and the way they had been destroyed was deeply unnatural. Then came the real shock. The girl's real body was discovered at home. She weighed over 300 pounds, and she was already dead. That made no sense. Normally, when a surrogate is destroyed, the human operator feels nothing. So how did she die? Detective Old Boo started investigating. He reviewed the recordings from before her death, but the footage showed only the boy, no other clues. Then, another shocking discovery. The boy himself was found dead in his college dorm. Even stranger, both victims had died in exactly the same way. Investigators enhanced the boy's video footage, and finally, they saw him, a mysterious man holding a strange weapon, something designed specifically to target surrogate systems. But there was another twist. The boy's name was Cantor. He was the inventor of the surrogate robot technology. On that day, he had been using one of many surrogate bodies created by his father. That's when Old Boo asked a terrifying question. What if the killer wasn't targeting the boy? What if the real target was the doctor himself? Because that day, Cantor had been controlling his father's surrogate body, which meant the killer had accidentally murdered the son instead. The truth hit the doctor hard. His own invention had indirectly killed his child. Determined to find the killer, Old Boo scanned the partial face captured in the video. Within minutes, the system identified a suspect. Using citywide surveillance and massive data tracking, they located him. Old Boo jumped into a helicopter. The chase had begun. The suspect raced through the streets on his motorcycle, heading toward a restricted zone. Police units surrounded him, trapping him in a narrow alley. But then, the man pulled out the mysterious weapon. In an instant, the officers lost control of their bodies, and their eyes exploded. From the helicopter above, Old Boo witnessed the horrifying power of the weapon. Then the killer looked up and aimed directly at him. Old Boo reacted instantly. He disconnected from his surrogate just in time, but the helicopter pilot was not so lucky. His eyes burst. The helicopter lost control and began falling rapidly toward the ground. Just before the crash, Old Boo reconnected to his surrogate. The moment the helicopter hit the ground, the robotic body was thrown through the air. One arm was broken, but it still worked. Now he had only one mission: get the weapon, because if it remained out there, every surrogate in the world and the humans controlling them could be in danger. The killer ran for his life. Old Boo chased him. His robotic body could leap several meters at a time. Within seconds, he caught up. Realizing he had no escape, the killer surrendered the weapon. But there was a problem. They were now inside a protected zone, and the residents had already noticed the robot. Within moments, they surrounded Old Boo with weapons, and just as he was preparing to leave, something even worse was about to begin.